Hello, welcome to Flory Models Kit View Time. Today we got Trumpeter's brand new tool, 1/72 Su-34 Fullback. Now we're hoping this one is slightly better and a little bit more upgraded, shall we say, than we actually saw in the 48th one. The trouble with the 48th one was this all-important duckbill nose, because quite clearly it was a little bit wrong. I'm not saying it's massive, I'm not a rivet counter, as obviously a lot of you know, but clearly it wasn't quite right. There was just something wrong about it, and luckily now there's lots of aftermarket companies that have done a straightforward replacement for the nose. Turns out what Trumpeter did was look at an earlier prototype version which had a slightly different nose from the normal in-service version, and that happens a lot. Let's face it, we've seen a lot of the companies wanting to get their kits out first before the competition, so they take the dimensions from prototypes, but then obviously the operational aircraft comes along, it has tweaks and changes like you might expect. So anyway, down in here, very nice in the old eggplant colour, which actually I've never painted an aircraft yet in this particular colour, but I would fancy having a go at this particular one. And again, in 72nd scale, the flanker is a big old aircraft. So from that point of view, as you can see up here, it's length of 30 centimetres, so it's a foot long. It's not going to be a particularly small jet, okay? But anyway, there we go. That's the one down there. A couple of bits. So obviously we're showing it down there as in red 10. In the eggplant colour, a little bit obviously all about it. You can see your kit number for this one is 01652. It is available through PM Models for a measly, well, it will be $45.99 I would have thought. Okay, and then we can see it down in here in that standard colour. Now the only thing that worries me is this standard colour one was the one that was used on the prototypes and the things like that for it. So I'm wondering if the nose is going to be right anyway. Usual thing you might expect, because this is a fighter bomber, you are going to get pretty much a box full of weapons, which is something we saw with the 48 scale one. And again, a lot of people were slightly off put by it purely because you're paying a lot of money for a lot of stuff you're never going to use. Great for your spares box, but if you've already happened to got them or built anything else by Trumpeter, you'll know they come with all the weapons. So popping the lid off, just down there, we can see we've got the original blurry sheet showing about some tools and various things that they do. And then we've got obviously the aircraft down in here, African Freedom Fighters, there you go. Some new 72nd scale BTRs, looks like, and we've got the Ukrainian T-84 MPT. Okay, and there it is, beautifully packaged, I have to say. I do like that. That's a very nice way of doing it. And that gives you an idea of how big it's going to be. And actually, looking down at the camera angle you guys are seeing, that nose doesn't look too bad. I don't know. This is one of those ones, is it? I don't know. We will have a look properly in a moment. And again, like we were thinking, separate bags. So that's but that's weapons. That's okay. That's actually kit part. That's weapons. That's weapons. That's weapons. That's kit part. That's weapons. That's weapons. That's kit part. So there we go. That's the actual aircraft. The rest of it, as you can see, is all weapons, and we don't stop there. We might have things in here. So we've clearly got a canopy, we've got a seat. Oh look, more weapons, more weapons, more weapons, more weapons. Yeah, okay, weapons, 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 weapons. So yeah, so from a pile point of view, weapons, kit. So there we go. That's your aircraft. That's all your weapons. So you are paying for all of this. This is the only thing. Now, I know obviously it's a little bit of, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of another, because if you haven't got the weapons, it gives you the opportunity to get the ones you want. Unfortunately though, if you bought a few Trumpeter things, you'll know they come with all of these generic ones in there. So this again is one of those things. You know, you're paying for this as duplicates. Do you want them? In some ways, I think it's great because, again, first time build with this kit, you've never built it in Russian, pick what you like. Second time in, you're thinking, right, okay, I've got everything twice now. Third time, I've got it 3 times, so forth and so on. Would it be nicer perhaps to have the kit a little bit cheaper, smaller packaging, all the rest of it, and having the weapon set available as in weapon sets like we used to see the Hasegawa ones and things like that? Again, I know it's one of those ones, there's no right or wrong, because obviously if you need it, you want it, okay? Anyway, instructions consist of that usual way. So as you can see, we've got this sort of duplicate sheets running out. So you've got your parts call out, nice big old decal sheets, as you can see down in there. And we've got another one for the actual call outs. So usual thing, as you can see over here, starting off, cockpit, putting all of those situations going down in there. Looks very similar to me, to be honest, to the 48th one. The wheel well system obviously goes down in, and then the cockpit will fit on top right the way through. Main gear wells being fitted together, tails being put in. You can make them posable by trimming these guys back just a little bit. And then, usual thing, sandwiching the two halves together. If you've ever built any of the flanker family, it is that generic sort of way of doing it all. And then we've got the various parts going in there. Systems coming together, stinger going in at the tail, cockpit things, usual things being fitted down in there like that. Burner cans going in the back end, gear, and then the intakes, which can be a little bit troublesome getting these to fit underneath. You're always going to have this seam line round with them, but there we go. That's one of those things you put up with. All right, main gear being fitted in. This gorgeous sort of tandem gear system that the actual Fullback has. Okay, and then obviously all the lumps and bumps and all the bits and pieces being fitted down onto this one, depending if you want, you know, ECM on the actual wingtips, or you're going to have pylons. The weapon system being gone quite full system on this one of pylons, ejector racks, things like that being fitted down in there, which is very nice to see. Okay, and then again, all of this weapons, so all of this lot is all your weapons fitted. So you've got R27s, all the Vistas one, the active and the radar, the infrared, the cab 150Ls, the bigger ones, the R27s, all the versions of those again, and then you've got the 150 version as well, even the bigger one. Okay, and then obviously you've got short range stuff, and then obviously various other ones fitted down in here. The KH-59 missile, the KH-31, the huge one, okay, the guided stuff, and then we got mirrors down here as well for the multiple ejector racks down in with those. So again, it is that thing of all the different weapons this thing can carry, obviously do come in the box. Pretty much standard, I think you agree, from anything else we've seen from them. Colour callouts doesn't actually give a unit, but as you can see, that's the one in the camo right the way over. And looking down, I don't know, this nose doesn't look right to me in the picture. Yeah, it's one of those ones. But there we go, that has it down in there just like that. I'll tell you what we'll do, we won't get caught up on if the nose is right or wrong. I'm going to let you guys decide in a moment when we see it. All right, weapons, again, right the way through, very nice with the colour callouts and all the bits and pieces on like that. Decals themselves, okay, love them or hate them, they either get them totally correct or they make a complete hash of it. Okay, so we'll just pop these, try and get these down in here. So, look pretty good, all good register, no problem at all. Can't see any problem with those whatsoever. Very nice thin walkway ones with the inners. The only trouble is getting these out and on. It'd be nice if these were left alone so you could just slide them across them rather having those in, but that's no problem with those. There's no wording on this at all, there's just a generic blurb. And then the weapons one, which as you can see, for all the weapons, very nicely done. Save you a little bit of time. There's your instrument panel. And again, the wording, you're never going to be able to read any of it. It's far too small, so they've done generic lines, which is not nice, but to be honest, in this game you're not going to see much of it. Instrument panel looks quite nice there, quite nicely detailed right the way across, side ones, things like that. And again, because of the way this kit is and having everything inside, you're not really going to see it. Right, let's get into the meat of it and get this little guy out of here. So I'm just going to untwist this. This is cue the old fast forward bit. Okay, so alright, hopefully this will slide off the front. And there we have it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that nose, what do we reckon? Side profile looks nicer. It's just that top down one. I don't know, it just looks, if we do split it, you can see it. Don't know, what do we reckon? Yes, no? I don't know. Again, the more you look at these, the more you think to yourself it doesn't look right, but then you're giving yourself a false positive or a negative false or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, scrapping that bit apart, we can see actually doesn't look too bad at all. Very nice. And when you get into the detail of it and all the rest of it, that looks quite nice. No problem with that. If we scoot in the close-up, hopefully you can see, gorgeous. There we go. All of this beautiful recessed detail on here that obviously the entire flanker family is famous for, but it does make for some fantastic weathering right the way through. No problem with that whatsoever. Very nicely done. The gun is absolutely microscopic on this. You can just about make out where the gun is. But again, a couple of little ejector points, no problem at all. Couple of swipes with the sounding stick, no problem. Inside, obviously tops of the wheel as well, as you can see down in here. Not a lot going on. All the ejector pins are either flush or slightly recessed, so no problems there. But generally, level of detail with the riveting, absolutely spot on, no problem at all. Exactly the same on the underside. You can see all the riveting, all the detail you would expect is all here. Very, very nicely done indeed. So no problem with that. That's actually very nice. Okay, down into the bags. So in the bags, let's start our way through here. Okay. So no problem. Standard way of doing all of these ones. And again, if you scoot in, probably do it this way. There we go. We've got the gear. You can see the instrument panel. Actually, that's a really nice job on the instrument panel, looking very nice there. And the gear wells looking nice. The cockpit you can see there. The bulkhead door, obviously for the entrance. And then obviously you've got even the instrument combing over the top. Looks very nice indeed. No problem with any of that. And then down on the back, again, all looking very nice indeed. Okay, and this is one of those ones where the detail of it is improving. It definitely looks very, very nice indeed. Okay, so in the next one, okay, and then again looking all very good. And then if we scoot down it, you can see beautiful stuff. The stinger at the back, nice recessed details. We've got the first stage compressor blades down in there. All the other details, the wheel well sides and intake sides, no problem at all. With the doors, very nice. Inside of the doors, we don't have any ejector pins, so that's quite nice indeed. None whatsoever, and some nice raised rivet detail down in these as well, so that's actually a very nice touch. And the tops for the actual intake looking very nice as well. So again, pretty good on all those parts. Okay, so pop over there. Just dive in here. Okay, surfaces are very, very nice on this. So again, you can probably see that beautiful recessed riveting panel line detail down there on the tails. That's really very nice on all these angles, as you can see with the tails and the flaperons and things like that. That's actually looking all very, very nice indeed. Going to take some good stuff. Blind sides, all very nice. We've got no marks, ejector pins on any of the insides of the doors or anything else like that. So again, very nice indeed. Okay, some of the more refined bits. So down in here we've got pylons, the forward fins, things like that. Again, very, very nice. So you can see those, got some nice detail down on these little winglets, or canards, isn't it? I'm trying to think of the word. There we go, canards. Pylons, beautifully detailed, nice detail on those ones. This bracing system for these twin ones are going to go down the centre line, very nice. The ECM pods for the wingtips, or your standard wingtips, again, all of those looking very, very good. And down even on the blind side, very good, no problem with any of the moulding. Even the pitot tubes looking very nice. Big old ones on these guys. Okay. Next up, we've got engines and wheels. The flanker, the thing is with the flanker, the engines are such a big part of it because they're such a large lump. It's going to be a match pair, so what we'll do, we'll peel one off. We won't need to do the other. There we go. For the afterburner ring. But generally, aftermarket is normally where you're going to go with these. But actually, that doesn't look too bad. They look alright for scale. So we've got the afterburner ring down in here. Again, very nice three-dimensional thing to it. The last stage. And then we've got the inlets and nozzles and things. Very nice. And then with the gear, again, good surface detail. We've actually got wording and things like that on the actual walls of the tyres. No weight on wheels, but that's pretty much standard job with those. So that's very nice indeed. Okay, then we've got the seats. So again, another match pair down in here. Moulded in harnesses, as you can see. Things like that. We've actually got the head restraint system that goes on the side. It's one piece. Saves a little bit of trouble, but all the handles and all the details, again, you're not going to see too much of it buried inside this thing. Shame you don't get any crew, but there we go. Okay, next up we've got the glass. So the clear parts, obviously quite an important part of the kit. So if we can just slip this little guy out. And there it is. Actually, that looks very, very nice. So you don't have to worry about centre seam because obviously it's already moulded and all the rest of it. You can see good textures on that, good level of detail. It's a little bit wobbly, but that is a complex curve. To me, looking through, that is crystal clear. Put your finger on the other side and look through, that's no problem at all. And then we've actually got the chin sensor down in here, looking very nice, and a couple of HUD parts and a couple of landing lights. That's actually looking very nice indeed. And then obviously you're going to get the weapons. So to be honest, we've got fuel tanks, so pretty standard, no point getting these out. We look at these with every review. We've got the R27s, okay, and we've got some of the actual laser guided bombs and GPU guided bombs, more R27s, various things, those big KAs, and then more weapons and bombs, as you might imagine, packs and packs of them, pylons and various things going on with those, and then again more missiles that you can shake a stick at, more bombs that you can shake a stick at. This is where it keeps giving. Okay, pretty standard. And down in here you've got that multiple ejector rack with the small bomblets on there as well, right the way through. There you go. Actually, to be honest, that doesn't look at all bad. It's a big old plane. It's not small, the flanker family, so you know, when you think about it, I always used to say that roughly around about a foot or 30 centimetres is a nice sort of scale. It fits in your shelf or your cabinet, no problem at all. And the flanker family, you know, let's face it, that's the same size as a 48 scale Spitfire, you know, or actually very close to being a 48 scale F-16. There's not a lot in it between them, so it is a very large model. Again, I'm just not sure about all of this, why we get this with every single one, but it may be me, just because I build a lot and all the rest of it. I've got all these, I've actually got a box full of them up there, so it just sort of riles me a little bit that you're actually having to pay for all the weapons every time you get a Trumpeter kit. I'm sure the cost would come down if you didn't have to do that, and we're not even going to go through like saving the planet. Okay, apart from that, the rest of it looks really nice. The nozzles look very, very nice with the inside of the nozzle and the outside nozzle and things like that on that. Again, nice touch. It's beautiful, clear, it's got everything. The nose, okay, I'm going to let you guys make your decision on the nose on this one, because again, it's one of those areas, it's quite important, and have they got it right? To me, actually, it looks okay. It looks all right, but I am by no means a flanker expert, or certainly a fullback expert, or anything else like that. So to be honest, I'm going to let you guys fight over this one forevermore on if it's correct or not. Would I replace it? Probably not. I'll just do it with it on, because to be honest, it looks like a fullback to me. So there we go, an absolute must if you're a Russian or a Sukhoi fan, because let's face it, the only other one is the Italeri one, which is like eons old now. So if you want a bang up to date fullback in 72nd, this is where you're going to go.